Google without it giving you a spell check error. Into the final game. Why was none of this ever patched?
Oh man,
this game has been released.
I just love how baffled he is by this though.
Most people would probably assume that yakisoba pan is a pan that you could cook yakisoba in, but actually pan is just bread.
I love it.
Even though the game has fried bread and jam
Oh
bread
my
on the
god.
same menu, they couldn't. On Sunday, you could go to a smoothie vendor.
This is
in the
so
subway
good.
to buy various different types of
I love
cheese. I don't
how
know about you, but I
this
had
is
no
such
idea
a
how to
huge
do
problem
one.
to
So I
him.
looked
The
it up.
fucking
Apparently,
bread.
It's a drink made out of vegetables with kale as a base. You should to buy a kumare. You could also hang out at a mojanyaki restaurant, neither of which are things the game explains. Honorifics are also extremely inconsistent too, with the game being
You think that though,
if the
if the
interaction
interaction
wants to use Japanese or English words when referring to
Let
characters.
me find my
Some
window
of those
here.
are referred to as Mr. and others are referred to as Sensei.
You think though that like, if you go out with Haru to go find something, isn't... I feel like that doesn't even matter as much as like the fact that you're with a character in the game. Like, did they really expect you to just put that much investment into the specifics of where you're going? I don't know.
And in one egregious case, both types of honorifics are present in the same line, in P for knockdowns and fighting bosses. In most instances, physical attacks just...
No, that's just not right though. Physical attacks are okay. But characters like On, I'm pretty sure, are huge magic dealers. Because I don't get how you can like play through the... Because I'm not a big fan either, but of these, some of the S&T shit. Just because of how like a lot of the fights kind of feel the same near the latter half since they start getting rid of weaknesses. But I don't get why. Like, because the thing with the... Like, late game, I'm pretty sure, is built entirely around buffing yourself and debuffing the enemy. Like, the harder bosses are the ones that contest that. It's just so weird that the physical stuff. But it's not like... Because you can also use things like status ailments, because there are insta-kills off status ailments you can use to get through some fights. It may not be really optimal, but it's a way to do it. Besides using physical spam on mobs, and then using physical on bosses. But I feel like he's boiling the game down so much, too. Like, you could say more about the fights than just that they're physical spam. They are if you have, like, a really shit team, I guess. Because I had a shit team and I had to do that. And I had the same impression until I realized that you could spec differently.
Charge and has incredibly strong AoE physical attacks.
Yes.
Yusuke, whose single target physical attacks gain damage with each baton. The combat of this game. And finally, Morgana, who works as
Morgana?
a healing machine in all-around generalized
Morgana
knockdown using
Yusuke?
Lucky Miracle Punch. There's almost no reason to use the other characters in battle.
No reason?
And Makoto have both near identical movesets.
Near identical?
Stemming from
No! I love this too. I like how he's like, oh yeah, Ryuji is a key member because he's one of the only ones that learns charge. But hello, concentrate? Also, like, doesn't she also... Can you also build Makoto to be a healer as well? And she also has things like a mass party defense. No, I'm not a fan of Five Nights at Freddy's.
Pass, withstanding damage, status recovery, so she is strictly just a worse
It's the worst character. I love that too. I just like this assumption that she's useless because she's late in the game.
Minor gripes I have with it. And with what I mentioned earlier, there's no reason to ever swap to any of the other party members once you have Yusuke.
Once you have Yusuke? Yusuke, the Chad. Why would I even swap when I have Yusuke?
Animations are played out normally during rush mode. So incredibly.
Dude, you're fucking Yusuke. What's the point of swapping?
No, there's only one enemy left. It will not trigger an interrogation. I was unable to discern what made the difference between times it did and times it didn't.
Oh
Persona
man.
5's combat does very little.
There is a way to tell like when to interrogate. So he's just wrong here. I don't remember it off the top of my head though. But he's just wrong. That's not true. I couldn't tell.
Then at
What
times,
is this? Okay, here it is. I found it. I
enemy
skipped ahead.
left, it will not trigger an interrogation enemy. And then at times, even though there's only one enemy left, it will not.
Yeah, see, he fucks up on his own turn. It isn't supposed to automatically just activate because you killed the last enemy remaining to make it activate. Especially when the end of his turn as well. Oh man.
Persona 5's combat does very little to keep things fresh, with almost no change to how combat encounters and tactics work throughout the game.
Okay, this is just dumb. There's no way they can keep it fresh for every single enemy beyond using the different ways. Because like the thing with the, what do you call it, the weaknesses and the strengths, is it's supposed to differentiate the enemies enough to where you have different strategies based on how they're paired up with one another. There's no way they can do that over and something like a game this long. It's gonna get boring eventually. That's where the bosses come in.
Randomly buff your body when you aren't even covered by the dim lighting of the room. This makes stealth feel completely pointless, because once the illusion is shattered, you'll never find the need to ever take cover until the very last second before an enemy would spot you. The entire stealth mechanic felt like a way to waste the player's time by having you have to wait until the ambush prompt comes up.
No, because the stealth mechanic is supposed to keep it so you don't have to go through shitty random encounters every 5 seconds.
The game lacks
That's the whole point. It's supposed to improve off the last game, because the last one in Persona 4, you couldn't, there was no like stealthy way to get around it aside from awkwardly trying to run around the enemy. I don't know if they changed it in Golden, but from what I played at 4, they would just like instantly twist and look at you and you're just fucked. It's like, God. It just sucks so bad. The fact that it's now more reliable is way, way better. And plus, if you know how to like stealth around enemies, you can potentially not fight them. So if you're sick of the random encounters that he complains about, this is the solution to the encounters. You could just skip them. If you're leveling and doing your fusions right, you don't have to grind. The only time you want to grind is if you want to min-max certain things. Like if you're going back through an area to do some exploring, there's no reason to spam grind everything.
Just say, well, you don't have to play like that, and you can easily still just sneak around. And to that I say, you shouldn't have to put rules onto the game so you can experience it a certain way because it fails to deliver on what it's trying to achieve. I shouldn't have to force myself to do stealth when it doesn't matter because the game fails to be a stealth game. They pretty much
It's not a stealth game. And also, like, what? Like, what is that? Like, what is this fake response? Like, because the stealth wasn't as immersive, it's like, oh, you should have, just don't use it then, you'll be immersed. It's like, shit, fuck. Like, what is that gonna fix? It's not like it was impacting you that bad. It's like, oh god, I could stealth now enemies can't see me. It can be a bit tedious, I guess, but that's just the name of the game with the RPG. I don't know, I guess they could have fixed it. I would like to hear his solution to that, but it's still it's just such a funny thing to me that he's harping on. This is really funny.
Now let's move on to the bulk of where the problems in the game lie, with each character's confidant.
Ew, I like what?
Know characters more intimately.
What?
Story, and they often follow a single
I like how the gameplay itself. Yeah, that's fine.
Each of the arcanas.
No, the confidants. That's where the problems lie.
This is how you learn.
We're only like 20 minutes in, and we've now hit the real problems in this 4-hour video.
We'll look at concrete Kase's parents, especially considering her claims that she was going to protect all of her students and be a great teacher who isn't bothered by rumors, but you are never given a chance to cheer her up, calm her down, or even meet with her at all until you go to Mementos and magically fix her life by beating up their shadows.
Well, that's not the same though, because he's like oversimplifying it like drastically.
Nowhere only for the message of this link of standing up to shitty people who take advantage of your guilt and good nature really falls flat when you have.
But that's like removing the agency of the parents, though.
Her to come do things for you every single night for
oh,
the rest
whatever.
of the game after you, because it's a core component of the game.
It seriously just comes off like he didn't understand what he played, though. Either that or he just did, like, maybe it is that way, but he just did not explain it
There are many
well
different
at
things
all.
they could have done to give you the housekeeping perk without compromising Kawakami's arc up until this point. You could have just called and paid for any of the other maids through the maid service to come to your
And
house.
okay,
and
why
do
does this
things during the
fucking
week.
matter?
Kawakami could negotiate
What
a
about
special
this?
deal
Like, I don't
or give you a
understand.
discount once you finish her storyline.
What is
Maybe
the
have
big
it so she can
takeaway
come
from
over
this?
For free and do it for you on the weekend if you still have.
Why
to
are
pay for
these
the service
S-links
during the week with another maid,
the
similar
biggest
to
part
how
of the game?
kids in Ifumi is a soft-spoken shogi player you can meet most nights at the church.
Is he really gonna go through
For
every
us
single
vibrates, you will get
confidant?
little bits of interest
Dude,
as
compared
photo
to the
shoots
main
and
story,
interviews
they're
and
like
she doesn't like them.
barely
For
a
families
portion of
that
the
her
game.
mom
The worst thing you
micromanages
could
all
say
of her
about
shogi
them
matches and photo shoots,
is
but
that
she's not very well liked
they
by
they
other
really
shogi
don't
players, and that her dad used
like
to be a
change
shogi
much
master
in the
before he
narrative.
became ill and her mother
It's
became
because it'd
his
probably be
caretaker.
hard
For rank 6, you
to
finally
write
start
some
to
of
learn
that,
more
I
about her
guess. I don't know.
insecurities. She tells you that she's very uncomfortable with all the interviews.
I'm not going to
she
make
has to do
excuses
because
for
they
him.
get to with
But
her
also,
in
like,
shogi
another
world,
way
and
they
she considers
quote-unquote
getting a
help you
normal
is that you
job.
get
But after you
abilities
remind
from
her
them.
of her love for shogi,
They
she
tried to
decides
have
to
it so
stay
that they
with
have,
the
like, a
necklace. In
tangible
her 7th rank,
effect
she tells you that her mom
on
set
your
the match
game.
against the fa-
So it makes it so weird that this is, like, a big problem for him. It's just, I don't know. There's such a side part of the game. Some of them are, like, very useful for later fights. I don't know.
After beating her, this magically fixes Hifumi's entire life for some reason. The next 3 ranks
How
of the
though?
story,
It's
as
she.
she learns about her mother,
He's
tries to win
so
against the pro,
over-exaggerating
anyway,
what it's
and
meant
then
to do.
decides to quit the shogi legal. Another story where the agency is taken away from the confidant, so you can magically fix their life for them by going to a
The
mentor.
whole point of the agency, what are they
There
going to
is an
fix it
incredibly
themselves?
clear
That's the
moment
whole
when Hifumi
idea.
could have decided to stand up for herself.
Oh
and
man,
talk
I
to
don't
her
know.
mom
What
when she was asked to throw the match against the
like
pro.
what are
But
these
again,
supposed to be
Joker
though?
saves the day by going to
Is she
Memento
supposed
and
to just
fighting
like
her
talk
mom
to him and then
because
realize, yeah, you know what?
And then they even throw in the twist.
I don't
that
need
her
help.
mom has been
It's the
orchestrating
whole
her
idea of
entire
like I
career
thought
up until
friends
this point,
and shit.
complicating everything
I thought it was
even
always a
more.
big
It's
thing in
understandable
Persona.
that she would have continued a strong conviction. Rank 3, you see a politician say that dishonesty is required in securing votes, but Yoshida disagrees vehemently since that was the mindset that made
Oh
him
my
a
god, if he's
bad
actually gonna
politician.
do this for the
Rank
whole
4, while getting
fucking
heckled
video,
about
I'm
his
gonna
past during
cry.
his speech,
It's just so weird. This is just so weird.
was made against
This is
him
such
and
a minor part of the
Yoshida
game.
reaffirms his goal to
I
become a
don't
diet member
understand
himself.
what
The
is
7th rank involves
up
him
with
meeting
this.
with a different party, but even in the face of this revelation, having an offer that would be immensely helpful for
But
him,
what is the
Yoshida
point
still
of
refuses
this?
to budge on
Why
the
are
fact
we
that he
going
wants
through
to
the whole
atone for his
thing?
past and do things right this time and decline.
This isn't even like the bulk of the
Going by pattern we've
game.
seen so far, this is where the memento. The only possible weakness I could think of for this S-Link is if you're not well versed with Japanese politics.
Gee,
and
he spent so
political
fucking
parties,
long on
some
this.
challenges will
I
go
don't
over your head. Like, I
understand.
have no idea
Why
what
are we
the
still
liberal
talking about the
pro-prosperity party
politician?
is and what it means
Who
for the political
cares?
landscape
Who
when
cares?
Kuramoto's grandson says they're
Why
going to
did we
secede from him.
spend
There are several other
so
great
long on this
S-Link in the game,
politician,
but
dude?
now that we have the perspective, Sojiro is the constant parental figure in your journey throughout the
Why?
He comes off as cold in the previous rank 7, and the situation is resolved with no issues. Exactly
What?
as Sojiro said things would have happened before.
I feel like there's
he
just
was
so much
Memento.
context
Rank
he's
10
leaving
brings
out.
a great conclusion
'Cause he
to
did
this
it the
whole
last
story
time.
as you go to visit
Also,
the
why
church
are we
to
still
walk
talking
around
about these
Sojiro can
fucking
eat
things?
with no reservations
He's
or
still
regrets
talking
Futaba
about the
situation,
stupid
and he
fucking.
continues to take you down about family, saying that you
He's
are
still
now
talking
part
about
of
the
his family.
fucking
And
links.
he'll do and has no leads on Kaio's case.
I honestly,
Off
listen,
goes
Jam.
Memento
Let me tell you what he's
to
doing
change
right
the
now.
boss's heart.
He's talking about the
Beating up
fucking
the boss,
social
you're
links.
given
Like they're just the
possibly one of
biggest
worst
thing in the
explanations
game
for
right
his
now.
actions. Oya's passion
And he
reminds him of how
misunderstood the
was in his
gameplay. He's like
prime
misrepresenting
before
half the
his wife cheated
social
on him.
links,
The reason
and
he's
he's
so
still
hard on her is
talking.
because of that.
Like half of it's
That's
just
it.
recap. It's like so
Could've
then.
worked if it was more
Then
built
that's
up
when
or
she
even
walks
just
over,
a
and
lot
again, you need to
more
go to
than this
fucking
one
Mementos
throwaway
every
sentence,
time. Like,
which doesn't
he
ever
could have
get
done it
referenced
himself.
again.
Why is he
It's a big
Mementos?
issue that
And then
Oya's
repeat
boss
that for just
has
like
the
several other
main origin
characters.
reason behind being an asshole. Some people
They're just an asshole, just trying to help him. They could have solved it himself, even though like that's not actually a thing in the game. He's just wrong.
The issue is that in telling her that she's in a mental
Dude,
hospital, although
Persona, I don't think Persona 5 is all shit. After like going through some of the older shit, they improved a lot, like gameplay wise. There's just some like really unfortunate stuff. It's just like this guy is fucking wrong. He doesn't understand like the themes of Persona 5 at all. There's this whole thing going on in the game where like you have to help people who can't help themselves, and he's like getting really mad that you're helping people. And he's like, why don't they just help themselves? Like you're missing the whole message that the game is going for.
Makoto says Shinya should be the one to deliver the calling card himself. The rank 8 meeting consists of meeting up with Shinya, handing him the calling card, and leaving. This is by far the most worthless confidant meeting in the entire game. Nothing happens in this scene other than handing him
What
the
is the
card
standard
and
for the
handing it
confidant
to his
meetings?
mom, while he says he's needing to be sent, even just mentioning it in passing. And it seems
Oh
weird
my
that one
God.
would have been necessary at all, given that mostly the only thing you know about your targets
Well,
is
it's
their
just so
name,
little.
their
Like, you got-
address, or anything about them.
Like, it couldn't be for flair, God forbid.
The fact that a custom calling card for every
Like, listen to this. Imagine, like, all the stuff you could say about Persona 5, and you're just like, why the fuck did he put the calling card? Why did he get the calling card? I don't recall. I looked through the footage, I don't recall seeing a calling card being sent. Persona 5, minus 1 point.
But it doesn't explain all the other targets.
Yeah,
like
checkmate,
Kataba's
Persona
uncle, who
5.
also probably have
You
not
didn't need the
known
calling
about the
card.
form, but still doesn't need a calling card. The only possible explanation I could come up with for how different this confidant is
He's
than
gotta
the
come up
others
with an
is that
explanation.
Shinya's story came from an earlier
It's
draft
just so
of the
appalling.
game, when they hadn't quite figured out the
An
rules
earlier
of the
draft
game
is that bad.
confidence, and they got to update
It
for
is
the
a
final
sloppy
release. The ending of his
earlier
role plays out
draft.
like all the others.
They have
He
screwed
talks
up.
about how his mom has changed, and he's happy about
Gosh
it, and
dang
is
it.
thankful to the fan. But in the end, he somehow comes to the revelation about what he was
All the other
doing
confidants
wrong.
don't mention the calling card.
Since it goes counter to what
I'll have you know,
Joker
Jam, I
throughout
combed
the
through
essence,
every
you
single
never get a
frame
chance
of
to
Persona
correct
5, and I did not
his
see a calling
views
card there.
and motives, or
Honestly,
offering guidance until the very
this
end
is
of
the
his
worst
confidant.
confidant.
You learn
I'm gonna put this one
almost
lower on my
nothing
confidant
about
tier
Genia
list,
other than he's a
but it's
gamer who
above the
often has
worst one.
heated gaming moments into
Fucking
becoming common
heated
cool.
gaming mode.
Overall, it's kind of weird that he teaches you actually how to improve your gun skills, despite all you do is play an arcade game. It's the
Dude,
same
the guns are
issue of
fake, you
narrative
idiot.
versus gameplay that Hifumi has.
Narrative
As we
versus
touched on in the combat
gameplay?
section,
It's fake, the guns are
only
fake.
useful
The
for
guns in the game aren't
knockdowns, so
real.
a lot of his ability requires some legwork before it begins.
Whew.
You can buy a stone from
How
her
far
for
into this are we?
100,000 yen,
1
realizing
hour.
that
We still need to
and
get through the rest of the
confront her ability to
confidants.
start
Come
her
on,
confidant.
baby.
All of Jahia's she says that she wants to return these people's money, but can't because her congregation is taking all of it. In this meeting, the chairman
Look
comes
at how
by
much
her
context
stand
he's giving.
and talks to her.
Well,
When
what
he
is
asks her
this,
who he
man?
was, she
Enough.
dodges the question.
Enough,
At
dude.
this point, 5 ranks into the Fortune Confidant, we still know basically nothing about Chihaya other than she is a fortune teller from out of town working for
What
a
does it matter?
mysterious organization. This problem is present in other confidants.
Why
as
are we
well.
supposed to know
Many of the
something at this
stories are told
stage?
throughout
Is that the-
confidants don't give us a really good
Yo,
look
is that
into
the rule
characters,
for the
but this one's
confidants? They have to do
particularly
this,
bad.
otherwise
The
it's
player has
not good.
committed at least about her that wasn't
He
already
really should
obvious
just
from
say
her
what the
introduction.
problem
This
is and
also
give me
plays
enough
into the
context to
issue that
understand it.
confidants usually have
He
one
went
rank
through the
being
first 4
saved
days
for
and it's
the
like the first 4 days
exposition
don't
dump about the
matter.
character's life and past. This problem is that wasn't enough. Sometimes the drug members go missing and are never seen again. Chihaya feels terrible about having supported this
Oh
organization.
my
So
god,
of
he is
course,
still
goes to the police
recapping.
and reports and exposes that here is that he got scammed when he first moved to Tokyo.
Dude, and the thing is, like,
He also
he just
implies he used
assumes
to
that
know
if you went and
Chihaya
talked to a
when
bunch of
he lived
people,
in the
all the
country.
problems
He
would be
refers to her
resolved.
as
But the whole
Chichan.
point of the
Of course,
game is that that's
never
not gonna
mentions this
happen.
ever again because that
They
would
spend
actually
like so
flesh
many
out her
chapters
character,
establishing
and we
this,
wouldn't
and
want
then
any
all
of
of a
that now,
sudden
would
it's
we?
like, nah,
We
it's
go
not gonna
back to her
happen.
to finish rank
Then you
eight.
go to
However,
Mementos.
the detectives confess that the
It's
police
Mementos, I hate it.
investigating
I
and
hate
she
how it's
feels that the
Mementos.
curse she has
What the
had
frick?
since she was a child has now. As if the underdeveloped story wasn't enough, Chihaya also gives you the worst rank 10 ability in the game. The ability to see rank 10 abilities of other confidants. So you can know what you would have got if you
When
spent
does the
time with
ability
someone
matter or when
useful
does it not
instead of
matter?
her. Not to mention the fact that you can just view
He's like, oh, the
people's
politician
next
had the
unlocked
best one in the
rank
game, but he
ability
doesn't say
by
what the
just
ability
going to
was
the
and rate it.
confidant menu. Is a personality, even when it goes directly against how she's portrayed otherwise. For example, if she's a shut-in,
See,
who's
okay
only
then,
had
but right,
one
she's like a
friend
main
in her
character.
entire life, why is she making D&D
So,
references?
like-
a game that is intrinsically social.
Also, I like
On
how
top of that,
D&D
one of the
can't be
goals she
played
tells you
online.
about in her essay is that she
Like,
wants to
okay.
learn more about her generation, but she's
Oh,
already
man, there's
a
just so
walking
much
lexicon
confusion
of
with this.
nerd knowledge, bringing into question
So,
what exactly
isn't she a
wants
main
to learn
character?
about.
Like,
She
why
already knows
why is her
everything there is to
dialogue
know
just
about
all
movies,
confined to the
TV,
social link
memes, and
now?
gaming. What doesn't
And
come up
dude,
is
all she did was
genuinely
spend her life in
is
a
the only
fucking
character in the
room.
game that makes
She had like
constant
very
pop
little
culture
social
references
interaction,
while
and he's
also
all like,
acting
"Oh,
like she
dude, why is
doesn't
she just
understand
so
how
socially
people
adept
work.
and
She never
weird?
makes anything
Just
other
quoting
than
a bunch of
surface
internet
level
meme
references
humor.
that
It's like,
anybody
gee, I
who's
wonder
been
what
on
happens
the
when
internet
someone
for
who's
at least
only
a week
been
would
raised on the
absorb through
internet
osmosis.
does,
Just feels shallow.
with very little
Ryuji is
social
also
skills.
portrayed as an avid gamer, and you
Whoa.
can watch movies, visual conversation. He's also perfectly thin and has immaculately styled hair despite never leaving her house, and eats nothing but junk food. She's basically just Umaru-chan. Noticing this makes it very clear that Futaba was meant to be the stereotypical.
She's not fucking
girl
fat,
boss.
which is why
First,
she's a
fleshed
fucking
out
fake,
character second, to
fake
make
gamer.
players think, wow,
Dude,
she's
all
into
gamer girls who are
video
shut-ins
games
have
and
to be
memes
fat.
and can't interact with anybody because she's socially inept.
She
just
can't be
like
weak.
me. The characters can't even make the same references she does. Because
Yeah,
if
her-
they
her-
were to,
she's
it would
also
take
inept
away
'cause of
one
family
her
trauma.
only recognizable traits. Her link mostly
Dude, she's
consists
not
of
fat,
multiple
Jam.
works
She's
and
not real.
problems
She's
that
not
she faces in
fat.
society.
Dude, so
Since she's
unrealistic.
so
Why
afraid
did she?
of outdoors, into secret
Why did she
places,
freaking
give her
fat,
a tour
dude?
of your high school with Makoto,
Honestly,
and
this
take
is a
a
0
trip
out of
to
10
YouTube.
experience.
Rank 6 fonts for horribly abusing their daughter for all of these years is that they're really sorry, and they're going to get real jobs and stop exploiting their daughter.
Dude, it's
Upon
the whole
hearing this,
point of the
fans
change of
just
heart.
accept this as a good enough answer and move on. Futaba even
Because
says
there's
that
a whole thing where they
Kana
don't know
is
if the
going to
change
be
of heart
all
works
right
until they
now,
test
and that
it.
there is zero mention of what might have happened to Kana.
Ugh.
Parents going to jail.
I hate how he
traumas that
ignores
Kana
it
could have
randomly.
suffered from a lifetime of being exploited and beaten.
Sometimes sometimes the change of heart,
Repercussions of
you
all
know,
these images
it
that
works.
have
I guess
parents
other
of
times it
native
doesn't
birth
for
now out
to
on the
Cvit.
internet. and about Kana potentially having any
This
trust
bizarre
issues.
thing where it's like,
Developmental issues,
how do they know it'll work?
She
It makes
doesn't
no
go to school
sense.
anymore
It's
at
like,
all.
gee,
The game doesn't do anything, not even
It's
throwaway
like,
lines like they've done
it's
for
not like
every
it's
single compound
had
up
several
until this
chapters
point. It seems
dedicated
like
to
the
this,
most
and how like
obvious
the
story
first
where issues like this
story
would have
arc
been
was like all
hand-waved
about
away with lines
just had that
like,
at the end is
Futaba
really
used
important.
Her super hacker skills meant connections, made sure Kana was taken care of, and made sure she'd be able to get a proper education now. While these aren't great explanations, at least there's something, because what we got was
There's something?
literally
You should have used what, his
nothing.
government
The game honestly
friends?
just moves on without addressing anything about
Why
the
do they have to
kinds of
address
abuse
it?
Kana
I don't
has
get it.
suffered, or
What
any
about that
possible
needed to be
repercussions
addressed?
parents should have to face.
Why?
Futaba met Kana when they were in elementary school, which starts
Oh
at
my
7, and she's 15 when you meet her.
The parents
They've
weren't
been
arrested
possibly
because they don't
abusing her
trust the
for
police.
over a decade. Confused, innocent child.
This
The
confused,
game
innocent
rushes
child,
all
who,
away
may I
from
add,
being
is thin.
embarrassed. After this, they promise
Very
each other they will both
unrealistic.
go to high school.
Classic Nintendo, our Super Nintendo, our Nintendo 64, and our Wii.
Yeah, that's what Futaba
Kana,
does.
but still left her even
Futaba's
after
just
seeing
Sheldon.
what Futaba was like after
Except
only
not
a
fat.
year of
You know,
being
why is
studied
Sheldon
and
so
witnessing her
thin?
mom's death.
That
I mean,
bastard.
it still expects me to believe that Kana somehow doesn't have
I'm
some sort of
like, why is Sheldon just
potentially
so
almost a
fit?
decade of
Ugh,
But they did
I hate
this
it.
today all
My
over
immersion is
Kana's
broken
drama
in my
instantly,
Big Bang
so I
Theory
guess the
viewing.
game is consistent in that
That
regard.
Sheldon could
There's
not be
nothing
morbidly
concrete you
obese
can
like I
point to and
envisioned.
say they're mistakes. Like so many of the things in this game, a good idea in concept, but the execution is often random and leaves the player in a spot of wondering what are the morals and goals of the Phantom Thieves. In some cases, criminals are told to turn themselves in for jail, as is the case in Pei's former superior and the cult leader in
Yeah, it's almost like that's a
But
huge
other
plot
criminals
point in the
like
game. I don't know,
Pei's parents
geez.
and Tiffany's mom are
It makes you
also
really
in the
question the
process of
morals
stopping
of these
bad
characters.
people.
Yeah,
Others
gee,
seem to
I'd
have shadows and mentors just
be a shame
because
if they
they're
actually talked
assholes.
about that in the game.
His mom, and Morgana says, I won't tell you to give up your life, but you will spend the rest of your days in guilt. So the punishment for abusing cats for a few weeks or months is a lifetime of guilt. I want you to keep that in mind. In another case,
the
a
fuck,
man is stealing
dude?
money from his parents and several other elderly people.
Like they're gonna be able to enforce
Him
that.
promises
It's a
to
lifetime
stop
of guilt.
money
He
stole
says to it like the
from
fucking
opposite
elder
side
gods have
to
decided
apologize,
that this
which
man's
is
hell is now
understandable. Or you
cats.
can tell him he's going to rot in hell. This is obviously an overreaction, and it's hard to understand why this is even an option, since it feels so out of character for Joker and any of the party members. to
He's
say.
talking about the
Strangest one
end
is a request that
scenes
comes
in
to
the
Phantom
fucking
Thieves'
Mementos
Christmas
fight,
tree,
the
while he's
Mementos
asking for
side
forgiveness
battles.
and says that he was doing the
Wow,
same
the
thing.
game is
If
just
you do,
completely
you all just
obliterated.
disagree, and it's the main
Yeah, they didn't
character's
say he's gonna have a
guilt.
lifetime of
Never
guilt.
quite align
Means he
with the
won't.
crimes. Stealing from your parents is obviously
It means he
bad,
won't have
but
guilt
killing
now.
multiple people
They should have
is
said it.
even worse.
Dude,
So
okay,
killing the
Jab, you know
first
what?
one, they're going to rot
stole
in
from the
hell,
cookie jar?
and the second one, a non-killer
Burn in hell.
response, is
Oh,
a
shit, he said it,
Metaverse
okay.
and sociopaths.
You're a
You get
murderer?
mostly
Well,
real text from Mishima,
you
where he
stinksies.
explains the situation, and you
You're
meet up
big
with
stinky.
Phantom
How about them
before going
apples?
to Mementos, and then you take them down.
Dude,
The
just
only
throw away
apology
dialogue.
is sometimes a text message from Mishima saying
It's
this is
true.
wrong, but even then, it's rarely a good
That's
closure to the
exactly what he
story.
is doing.
Most of the times we went to Mementos only before or after you would change their heart would have gone a long way towards making them feel more
Dude, this is a
memorable.
fucking
We've been
side
doing it for a
quest
while
thing that's
now,
just
so let's
fast.
take some time to talk about some of the S-links that handle the inclusion of a
I guess
bunch of
maybe
crowd.
they could have done it, but I don't know what he wants.
Is shown in the game is a
Genuinely do not
well-intentioned
understand
but
what he wants.
strikingly average person.
Oh,
His whole
no,
story
we're
of
talking about
Persona 5
another
is an
Link?
odd one. Is around heart changing, but that's just how Persona 5 works: setting things up and doing nothing. with
Doing
it.
nothing with
I guess
it.
they're just
God,
really
Persona
lucky
5.
Mishima changed the
Just
whole
another
zone.
shitty video game.
UI is
Gosh.
very executed
If only
with
Persona 5 was
guides and
fatter.
weapons, and the personal stories being told at a good pace throughout the entire S-Link.
Whatever,
instead of
a good
having
pace.
filler early and then
There's
the
no point in
exposition
even
dumped
talking
in
about
the middle,
pace.
and
This-
then
the links are
dumb
determined
contrived
by
reasons
when
why
you
the
do
rest
them.
was in the end. The story isn't ruined by most players aren't going to get to see one of the best storylines.
I hate when he says that. Most players just
Multiple
won't.
people, and none of them actually ever finished his rank in their first.
He's like, oh, people won't do
and
that.
most players aren't going
He's like,
to
yeah,
commit
no one's
a
gonna care about
second
Haru.
playthrough right away to an
No one.
100-hour
No one
game
probably
or
does it,
maybe
even though she has
10
like one of the
to 15
strongest kits in the
hours of
game.
content.
Yeah,
We're
okay.
following a god. Since Makoto has already been established as the smart one, this might seem sensible, but think about these statements for a second. Being the brain that controls the entire body, analyzes all the available information, and then gives orders to their subordinates. That sounds almost like a role of a leader, doesn't it?
Sounds like a role of a leader.
Look at the game is so good looking. The art style of the game is so good that it doesn't do the aspect of her story where she is so much more attractive than everyone else any justice. And while yes,
She's not hot enough?
everybody
Okay.
in the game is a good looking character to the point where she doesn't stand out above everybody else.
Dude,
Mishima,
what?
who
Is this
described
serious?
by
Is he
Futaba to
serious?
be a complete,
She's not
invisible,
hot enough,
lacking
okay.
all sex appeal person, is still not a bad-looking character. This is the only time I can think of where a game's art style being too good to have a narrative about characters being either too pretty or too ugly. Because Anne doesn't stand out against any other girl in the game because they are all equally as pretty as her.
Dude, everyone's
And
so
ugly
hot in
or
this game. What the
supposedly ugly
fuck?
Characters are not nearly.
Oh man, that's such a big brain gamer moment, dude. When your art style is too good. I cannot believe it.
Most importantly,
Why is the art style so good?
The rival. Afterwards, Anne mentions that Mika saw right through Anne, not treating modeling as anything more than a hobby, seemingly forgetting that she literally just stated that she only saw it as a hobby. It's not like Mika came to some grand revelation that nobody could have ever possibly seen before, and told her that she only sees it as a hobby. The modeling storyline with Mika is
I thought
Anne's confidant takes
that's the problem, right?
Rank 7 is
She
another
didn't take
modeling
it
group
seriously.
Mika
That's why
is
she's
badly
mad. That's what he said.
and once again,
That happens in
Anne
the
is
game.
clueless when Mika talks about dieting
I don't.
and
What's the
exercise
problem?
she's been doing, causing her to once again go into a
Anne said it was a hobby, and she hates that. She thinks it's a hobby, but she said it was a hobby. It's like, okay.
Tricks Anne into looking stupid at the photo shoot.
What does that
And when
mean?
Talking to Anne alone after the photo, she even says she's not going to eat a chocolate crepe right after the photo shoot. This whole entire scene is so wrong and hard to believe, much less parse, and just makes Anne look like an idiot. Anne seems to
Why?
believe that Mika is better than her.
What is the
because of her
problem?
multiple speeches about how she only eats healthy, never has candy, hired a personal trainer.
Because she
and is
cares
working
about
out,
the
and in
job.
reality, they're in the same position. Mika even
The
says
problem
that
is
a
she has no
natural
pride in her
beauty
work.
like
That's
you
the
could never
point. I'm
understand
so
how much
confused.
work
What
it
is the
that
issue?
I put into modeling. Mika says just cements the terrible message that this story is trying to convey. Being naturally gifted at something is bad, and you should feel bad for being naturally better
What
than
is she-
others at something. Everything we see about Anne runs counter to her conclusion after this meeting. If Anne has
I'm not
clear
crazy, right?
metabolism
This is-
she eats to stay skinny,
Did I
then
miss
that's a natural
something?
advantage she has. Sure, but that doesn't mean she needs to start dieting because other models do. If she's already skinny and starts dieting, wouldn't that have an active negative effect on her body, like anorexia or malnourishment or anemia? And
Are you following what his point is? I have no idea what he's trying to argue.
What that is already more accomplished than most.
I am
people. This
so
isn't to say that
lost.
It's bad that Anne is planning to work harder as a model. That's perfectly understandable. But it's the reason she's.
We are
doing
just
it
so
and the
far
way she's
deep
going
into
about
the
doing it.
Cvit,
If
the
Anne wants
rabbit
to be
hole.
better,
I have
she's
no
gonna work on
idea
her
what
pose
he's
and
saying.
acting, which has been shown to be something that she's weak at in scenes in the main story, and not her diet, which has been proved to not be an issue.
Why is he
multiple
still
times. And if she
going
wants to
on?
work harder, that shouldn't come from feeling
What
bad
is
about being
happening?
talented. And it
Holy
completely
shit, he has a
works
lot
against
to
this
say about
idea.
this
We see
one.
her eating snacks multiple times.
Anne shouldn't have
In
been
one
that
case, she
high.
comes over with a bag full of
Dude,
food
Anne,
this summer.
tone
She
it down
also
your
brings up the
looks,
fact that
please.
Anne eats too much. Anne
I'm so
confides in that she used
confused,
to move
too.
a lot as a kid and was always lonely and continues
She's
to
being
want
made
be
to feel
shared.
bad because she's
Frank Stein brings
insecure.
it into the She-Ho storyline, with the
And
three
then
meeting
she's
the
like, no
top
pride in
She-Ho,
her work,
says
and she
that
feels like
she's
she
transferring
should.
schools, and Anne says that she's going
I'm
to
so.
become a
What is the
model,
problem?
so that
I
she
don't
can
get
be
what the
on
problem
billboards
is.
and magazines,
I
so
seriously
She-Ho
wish
can see her
I
making one
understood
of her own.
what it was he
Here,
was
Anne talks
arguing
about
here.
how into this one asshole model who is actively trying to fuck her over every chance they ever get meeting. Mika was really sorry that she fucked over all those people, and definitely wasn't because she got caught. And
So
turned on the
he's
waterworks.
so cunty about it
Anyways,
right now
the
as
photo
well.
shoot starts with Anne already being far better model than she was the last time you saw her, because apparently
I'm
all it
so
took was
lost.
a couple weeks to completely change yourself and learn how to model.
And he's still going.
Terrible way to
This is just
show her
unreal.
being
Anne has
a model
fucking
out of
slighted
nowhere,
this man.
because that means she
Dude.
has her own choosing off-screen
Anne has
by
just
herself, which is very far.
obliterated this
Even with
man's
the premise
joy.
of improving as a
He was
model
just having a
being
great
flawed,
day, and then
they could have
frickin'
done
Anne
this
came
simple thing
along.
and
Like,
just
dude, what are you doing here,
incorporate
you
the rest
hot
of the
whore?
by helping
Be
her improve.
gone.
There's a perfect setup here for Yusuke, a
Be
classically
happy with
trained
your
artist
job.
to
Gosh
help Anne
dang
learn about
heck.
fashion in some way. Maybe he could help her with choosing clothes that really match and complement each other
Dude.
well based on colors. By showing her poses
Oh,
in art
no,
that
no,
are
no,
interesting for the
man.
viewer, or something else
No,
that
no,
pertains to
no.
his art training. He attempts to study the anguish of Christ, but a priest sees him and explains that the crucifixion was not a
Yeah, we
symbol
gotta
of
wait
anguish,
another
but
10
rather
minutes for him
hope.
to get to the
Once
end.
again, this caused Yusuke
You know,
to
I think this would be
contradict the
better.
character's
He's
personality
hopping
along
so
the way.
haphazardly from character to
Haru is
character
the seemingly
that it
timid
just gets
witch
lost.
with an affinity for vegetables and
Like a lot of his
cars.
points
She
get
is the
lost
only
because he's
other
like
main character.
he'll go on this whole tangent on like one character and be like, this is great, this is good, this is bad, but I don't really know, because he just hops around like, this sucks, but this is good, this one's good, this is a great example. Why? What is the argument? Are these better? How did these do it better than them?
into the
There's
game
no, like,
and
thesis
some of
here.
the other S solutions and calls her fat while walking away. Resulting in even more as an irredeemable asshole. In your meeting with the president, you and him could
Oh, the way he delivered that was really funny.
was pushing hard to sell her shares because he thought the burden of running a company
It calls her fat.
and urged her confidence
Yeah, Haru. Yeah, damn, Haru.
any
First of
open
all, I hate you.
confidence
Second of all,
and
you're
consistency.
fat.
Deeply, you choose to turn her down as a romance option, she actually reacts to your rejection, unlike every other girl in the entire game.
No, they
The romance
react.
options that you unlock
What?
when you max out a female confidant aren't something that we
So
talked about up
confusing.
until this point in any of these stories.
Did not
But
realize
let's look
they-
at how they work now. When at all, or a reaction that doesn't line up with how they were acting seconds before. Every one
What?
of these conversations is blatantly leading up to a mutual confession.
I
and it's as if
seriously
the
have
game doesn't
no
actually
idea what
expect
he's
you to
talking
ever
about.
turn them down.
Are
Once
they
you
not
turn them
realistic
down,
enough for
reality
him? I don't-
rewrites itself to where they never loved you romantically to begin with.
This
Clearly
is so
not
sudden.
everyone
What is he
owes you the
talking
same
about?
reaction to being turned down.
Well,
Some
okay,
girls
okay,
are
we have
like,
gone
"You
off
feel
the
feelings
rails
not
now,
being
'cause he is just-
reciprocated," and would play this off, but there are characters that, given everything
What?
we know about them, should be visibly hurt, like Futaba. In the
What
scene
is he
you
do-
turn
what?
her down or romance her, she leads in with, "My heart's
I-
been beating really fast when we're together. I just can't be okay without you around.
Yo,
Life isn't
this
the
is
same when you're not
whiplash.
with me. Even when we're apart, I can't stop thinking about you." When she asks you why you treat her the way you do, you can tell her that
Dude,
it's because
it's just-
you love her or because you're teammates. If you turn her
But,
down,
like,
she
he
goes,
flipped
"Oh,
into this,
of
like,
course. Teammates would
just
always
like
be nice to
Mach
each other.
speed.
It's so obvious. One sentence was all it took to make her stop worrying and crying about losing the only friend she's ever had.
Dude, he is
If you
fucking,
romance her,
like,
she hugs you and cries
pounding
on your
this
shoulder.
into the
Many of the other
ground.
characters aren't nearly as bad, like visibly
Whew.
upset, moves away from you, and even makes up an excuse to get you to leave her house. While the fact that never really comes into play again, even in Livestream for wrestling,
Oh,
is the
that's
only
good.
time that turning someone down results in them accepting in a way that's believable, instead of being written in a way that makes it seem like they never loved you in the first place. The game wants every girl to be the right choice, but choosing not to date them exposes the glaring
Oh,
flaws of their
man.
fighting. When choosing
I did
to fight
not
is such an
expect this to
important
be
aspect
hidden
of
in
the
this
game
video.
and the game as a whole, it would have been nice to see both options be treated as
Dude.
equally viable for every girl. Even when the game presents an
This
option
is
that seems
wild.
like it's finally going to have
What a-
significant
what an
impact on how things
amazing-
play
it just-
out, the illusion of choice, the game.
I don't know what
Now,
just
there are still
happened,
5
but
confidants we
man,
haven't covered yet, but they're all tied to the main story. and most
really
break down
eye-opening,
automatically.
this guy.
So a lot that there is fake personas. His only meaningful contribution comes from the twist he's
Oh, wait,
involved
are we
in
really
very
talking about
early in,
Igor?
But even then, he still has no personality whatsoever. Caroline and
What?
Justine are the two Velvet Room attendants who actually perform the persona fusions and executions.
Is this real?
Once again, they're pretty much
Is he really going off on Igor? Is he really? I can't believe this. Wow. We're hitting new levels right now. He's actually going.
Personas that they want you to make. Add and add absolutely nothing.
Oh god, how many times have I heard that?
But every time he ranks up,
It
he just
adds
kinda
nothing.
says a couple sentences in activity around April. So you're telling me that the Phantom Thieves started when they first did something amazing?
God, he's just
What
such a
excellent
dick.
analysis. This is how Akechi acts throughout
Such
the
a
whole
fucking
game.
dick.
With broad and basic statements of Palace, Morgana says, "We can't let a rotten criminal like Shido do whatever he wants any longer." What happened to not caring?
Okay,
It's a-
wait, hold on. Why are we talking about the story now? I thought we were talking about the free times. What section are we in? He's just talking about characters. What? Wait. What? So wait, okay. He's not talking about the story? This is just the... I thought, but... Okay. Yeah, we're on the story confidants, but this... He's talking about stuff that happens in the story, isn't he? Or is this all in his free times? Because remember, he...
To figure out what Morgana's character
I know
is
we're on the
supposed to be.
story,
Every
but I
time you
thought
think
we
you
were,
figured out
like,
something about him,
we were
he
gonna
does
talk
the
about what
opposite.
happened,
He
because
has
he's been
no
so adamant in saying the
personality,
story
and
doesn't
only
count.
serves as a vehicle to shovel tutorials to the player. When you're in a palace, he always
He's
repeats
just talking about the
whatever bad guy
palace.
just said back about shadows in the metaverse where no other
Oh
character should have
my
that knowledge.
God.
He's the script's directing hand that forces you to do whatever he says so the story can move forward at any
He's
given
trying
time.
so hard to
That's
make
what
Morgana sound like
is.
he's useless.
Not a character, but a tool.
Oh man. Well, the reason he feels inferior is because other people join. That's the whole thing, right? The big deal was like, well, he doesn't feel as useful anymore because
Now that we've looked at every
everyone
conflict
else
in
is
the game,
taking
we
his,
can finally move on to the main story. You can probably
he's-
see
they're
some
serving
of
different
concerning
roles,
the
like
way
in a
we talk
party.
about the confidants in the game is Joker also befriends Ryuji, since they are both outcasts and happen to accidentally wander into the metaverse together. There they meet Morgana, who teaches them that when humans have their desires,
Is he really gonna
warped,
recap the
spawn a
whole story?
palace, which is the dungeons themed
Please
to
tell me
the
he's not.
person's delusions, which they are
I really do
the
not want him
delusions
to
of
do
mind.
this.
The dungeons are there is some over reliance on the Joker vision to see the one thing that you're you're supposed to interact with, but that's not necessarily a bad thing.
I
since it
forgot
is a
about the
tool
Joker
that you
vision
need to
because I
have
got
and
so
you will
wrapped
use
up
it
in
for
the
most
shitty
games.
character
The level
analysis he
design
did.
is very linear, like every I changed the heart of a guy who was stalking a former girlfriend. Upon changing his heart, he reveals that he used to be a student
Okay,
of
we're back to
that Madarame just
recaps.
used
I was waiting for
to
like the
so
argument,
he
but
could take all
he's
the
just.
credit money in the bank. Then he asks you to look into him, and then our party immediately forgets all about him and doesn't actually.
He was like
follow
really
up on his
briefly
call.
touching on
Instead,
the.
a convoluted series of events happens, which results in the party meeting.
He's just talking so fast.
Along the way, he just so happened to see Anne for the first time today while in his car, and was so taken by her beauty that he decides to chase her on foot and asks her to be his model. This entire scenario is contrived as shit.
Why?
It's hard to understand. Are to look into Madarame, but even though that one
It's
of
just
the
so
keywords
weird,
is
though, that,
apparently
like, why does
plagiarism,
it-
no one on your team
it's
can
forced,
put
but
two and two
how?
together, and they all just wonder about what these paintings.
Time is not
mean.
restricted when you're
Eugene says,
outside of a
"Dude,
palace.
I don't
There
get
was,
it."
they
After
could have been
looking around
any
more, you
time.
leave the palace and use Anne's modeling excuse to go see
There could have been like any amount of time between him seeing Anne or not. It doesn't matter. Like, how is it even contrived?
Out of there and then decide as a group to go into Madarame.
He's like, oh, they could have met here, but they didn't.
This is a fine reason to
It
target him, but
happens.
the main characters are disconnected from him a lot more.
It's
than
only
Kamakuya.
contrived if you know they're
Frankly, it
gonna
doesn't
meet him
make
at
much
some
sense of
point.
How hyped they are to take him down.
But there's, like,
Madarame is a considerably weaker villain than Kamoshida's other side, and we're introduced to one of the worst mechanics in the game: the force stop halfway through the dungeon. I hesitate
what?
to even call it a mechanic since it's only used 2 more times in the entire game, but this does nothing but slow down the game.
So
and
he-
waste the player's time, forcing you to have to go out of the dungeon and use another day to go back and finish it instead of.
It only
allowing you to
happens
complete
rarely,
all
which
in
is
one
why it's
single
one of the
go, so
worst
players can get through
mechanics.
The life sim aspect of Persona 5. In this case, the way to get past the blockade is to go to Madarame's house and have him witness the entering of his padlocked room, so that the
The
cognition
structure
of it
could be
being
better.
impenetrable changes.
I
While
wish
it's
they
not a
copied
terrible
Sly
idea,
Cooper
it's weird
with
that it
their
only comes up
palace
2 from the whole
structure.
game. In this case,
That would feel a lot
one
less
comedic
forced.
scene involving Anne. No student would ever accept this, and outside of some of the school students being involved,
No
this
student
is
ever
barely a
accept this,
concern
not
for the
even if
school
she
at all. It
has
only gets
fucking
worse when you realize
motivations
that
to
this
accept
isn't
it.
just the case
Oh,
of the
ooh,
pencil
big
being
surprise.
corrupt from Makoto being- when this problem is clearly a matter of the police. One kid even goes, "I hate a student council president with no focus," as if that's supposed
Dude, the
to make
police
any
are
fucking
getting
sense.
involved with
You
it,
get
though.
multiple scenes where students go up to Makoto and expect her to do something about this. even
That's
if
the whole
they're
thing,
not
they couldn't
involved
catch
in being
Kaneshiro.
harassed. They're just like, "Why are you doing anything about this?"
That's the whole
Makoto?
plot
The
point.
students are being preyed on. Anyway, this is never addressed in the stories.
Never addressed in the
This is
story.
what it
The
gives us.
tale's
Assume
not
that this is normal
addressed.
in the Persona 5 world. The music here is also off-putting, consisting of a somewhat
The music too?
loud sound that sounds
Oh
like
my.
a kazoo, but hearing that awful noise come in to ruin the track every few seconds made this area
Just
such a
ruin the
chore to go
track,
through.
dude.
The
It's
remix
no
of the deeper part of
rest.
the dungeon, though, sounds really nice.
No
The
rest!
last
Even
section
the
of the
music
dungeon
cannot
is a massive
escape
room
his
you need to
his
rotate the
critical
walls of the
lens.
path.
The
Decide
absolute
every
power of
section
this
the lock.
man.
Finding a slip up, if they were just
Unreal,
going to
it's
drop
unreal.
It, why do they even have it at the start of the room to begin with? It's like there's no cohesive vision.
Like there's no cohesive vision.
Mechanics are introduced and dropped just as quickly with no explanation. Like usual, Persona 5
Oh
can't
my
commit to
God.
anything, and after a few more buttons,
God, like
you reach the
usual.
danger of the boss.
It's like they didn't want to make
Talking about
his
Kanashiro's
palace is
boss fight,
fucking
there's
different, God
something we need to mention.
forbid.
The safe combination room of the dungeon is also where we see Makoto start to take over other characters' roles and act
What is
smarter than
this,
everybody
dude?
else. As the party is taking the elevator down to this room,
I
Anne
hate
marvels
this
at the number
narrative.
of vaults in the room.
I
Then
hate
Makoto
it.
completely impromptu interrupts to say, "If my prediction is correct, we won't need to check every single one of these small vaults."
I hate
but that
it.
doesn't actually explain how she figured this out. Then once you've done 4 of the 8
So
puzzles,
stupid,
and
so
it's already
fucking dumb.
obvious what
Why
the deal with
is
the
this
room
agenda
she
that
stops the party
Makoto
to
is like the
explain
god
that this entire
character?
floor is deducing. We saw it. There was 5 circles
Oh my
on the way down
God.
from the elevator. Basically, her deduction is, well, because I could count to 5, that must be the end. Look at how I mentioned that Madonna often explains the palace room starts to the players.
This
Well,
can't
Makoto
be
now does that
real.
too. After Kaneshiro says,
This can't
"People
be
who
real."
earn money are worthless to me. She explains that
I hope I
she really
never
believes
become
that money
this.
is more important than human lives.
Oh
Thanks,
my
Makoto. I really couldn't have
Jesus.
figured that one out by myself. The final thing that
Incredible.
happens here that secures her as the only person that matters on the team comes in the treasure room, where with no explanation or any reason where she might have known this, she immediately understands that the treasure does not materialize unless the target is giving a calling
I
call
hope
to
to
scan
God
it first, and takes over the
I'd
responsibility
never,
of sending out the
ever
calling
turn
call.
into
Back
this.
in the real world, Shiro turns from a blueberry into a fly that rides on top of a piggy bank for some reason.
For
But
some
he's not tough
reason.
to beat at all. Hardy once
Can't
again
be
takes
asked
the
to-
treasure and leaves, and Kanashiro's treasure
If
is
there's
a
no
fucking
depth he
briefcase
could see
filled with
beyond the
Monopoly money
fucking
in his face.
fly.
As a villain, Kanashi, and just in case you're wondering, of course, it's Makoto who finds out that Alibaba's real identity is Futaba. But don't worry, she's totally not the new leader of the group. Then they figure out that
Oh my
Futaba
God, what
does
is this
indeed have a
insistence that
palace,
she is
and
the
that
leader?
located in her
I do
room.
not
They
get
don't
what
know
this
she
is.
thinks
I
about
don't
it, so
understand
they go to talk
where
to
this
her
is
and
coming
figure out
from.
that she thinks of it as a tomb. In a scene that
It's
once
just
again
unreal.
Makoto leads, and where we get the required Indiana Jones run away from the boulder scene. Because
The
of course
required
this has to
one.
happen in the desert pyramid setting. Then the
What?
crew decides to leave and regroup in the real world.
What's supposed to happen?
In the real world before going. Now, when it comes to Futaba's dungeon itself, there's a lot to say about it. For starters, why is it a pyramid at all? Futaba has
Why is it a pyramid? Blah. Futaba.
She's never shown any particular interest in history, old ruins, or anything. The only justification is she calls her
Yep,
room a
Futaba.
tomb. But this isn't really explained.
Don't you
since
care
the
about
reason for her
history?
delusion is that because it's an iconic scenario in heist, just like stealing from a king in a castle, stealing the most valuable
Is there
piece
really
from a museum, and robbing a bank.
no other
Futaba as a
explanation he could
character
come up
does
with?
not have any, but there's also an Egyptian mural puzzle that once again makes no sense for Futaba. After making your way through the mess of this dungeon, you find that the top floor
Guys,
is gated off by Futaba's cognition of
Why? Why doesn't it make
much
sense?
like what happened with
Can you not
Muhammad.
just, I don't know,
In
I
this
just
case,
wish
since
you'd
it's the end
fucking
of the dungeon,
think
this issue was just
about
rolled
this
into
longer than
some
just like,
small
oh, it's a
parts
fucking
without
pyramid.
really
What the
thinking
fuck,
about it, spending
dude?
an extra day dealing
Why a
with it.
pyramid?
After leaving the dungeon, the crew manages
Could've
to
been a
convince Futaba
building.
to let her in a room, gives her the calling card, and then goes back to steal the treasure.
I don't wanna have to
After
do
reaching the
work for
top
me
of
to
the
figure it
pyramid,
out,
Futaba's
dude.
mom
Come
is in the
on.
form of the flying sphinx and attacks the party. Once again, you can't deal damage and have
Like,
to
the game
defend
didn't
until the
spell it
game
out for
actually
him, so
lets
he's
you
gotta
fight the
think-
boss. What happens
fucking
next
make
is
shit
truly
up.
baffling. As a Futaba who fully believes the lies and can barely function. Instead, her shadow knows the truth and actively tries to help you along the way through the dungeon by giving you a map and giving you hints about
No,
where to
because
go
the
next.
shadow's
In
different
the
parts of the
first edition, what happens
consciousness.
is the real
That's
Futaba
why
will
the
not
Palace
be distorted,
Beast is there.
but her heart can't
That's
help
why
but
there
feel
is a
this way, and the
beast.
distorted version of her
And the
broken
fucking
and giving you
Futaba.
doubts that maybe it really was all her fault.
It's her
Futaba also gets to
subconscious.
see her shadow in the real world, which doesn't happen before or ever again. And Futaba knows that everything in the palace is fake, and she has control over it, shown by her spawning ballistas from thin air. So why couldn't she just make the enemy disappear? It doesn't seem like this should work.
Because that's
Futaba even
different. It's
realizes
part of
earlier that
fucking
her mom
consciousness.
actually loved her, and she wanted the best. The devs probably didn't even think about the implications this had on the mechanics.
Think about
Anyway,
that. This is a fucking dumb. I'm
Futaba
smart.
her
Be
son's
Cvit.
mom, which causes a ghost
I know
of
this
Futaba's
shit.
real mom to appear to Brett's.
When does he
Ghost is
say
free
it
for
was
multiple
the-
days. After she wakes up, she reluctantly
Futaba
joins the
was her
cult of
own-
ballistas from thin air. This is earlier that her mom actually loves her, and she doesn't actually have a fight. Just take Futaba, since the treasure was Futaba herself. So that
You
gives
realize
us
that
even
when you're
less
being
of a reason to
attacked. I knew it. I knew he would
Futaba
fuck this up.
They go into why because of a bad storm. I guess no one in Atlas has looked at a map before. And it was only written this way
Yeah,
so they could have
Atlas.
a scene where the whole crew is surprised to see Yusuke walk up to them out of nowhere and go, "What are you doing here?" But of course, there probably wasn't that much thought put into the scene just so they could have everybody together during Hawaii.
It's a
Getting
funny
back to the main
joke,
plot,
dude.
Discord is brewing between the
God, it's
things
the-
seem to be
it's a
building up to
fucking
an
coincidence.
extremist,
It
which
doesn't
is
even
what
like it's not a
sets up the
plot
next section of the
convenience. It's
story.
not nothing.
The fifth arc is
They're
where
just
the
there.
stakes and
That's
tension
it.
in the story really ramp up, and things start to get serious for the Phantom Thieves. They know that Makoto's sister is
My
looking
God.
into mental shutdowns and want to. What understandable reason for Morgana to leave is shown in one line presented as a flashback, where Ryuji says that Futaba is more useful than Morgana during the Medjed arc. But this line is taken out of context when it happened to come off more as banter between friends than a real argument. Makoto and Anne even mentioned at the time that this is just how their team dynamic is.
Yeah,
There
it's
really
'cause
is
he's
no reason for
insecure.
Morgana to be angry,
He's
much less angry at his
insecure.
literal
It's
only
fucking
friends.
character
But it
trait.
happens anyway, because despite the fact that they all clearly
Oh
care
my
about
God,
Morgana
I
and
don't
Kenji
even
constantly,
like the
game
scene,
is
and
drama,
I
and
understand
can
it
be an
makes
excuse to
sense.
add Haru to your squad. This
So
moment is
dumb.
supposed to be emotional and make you think, and says that, of course, no one is going to back down now. Nomura is likely involved in
He's
such
talking about the
and
phone
realizes
conversations.
saying that they
Really?
can't let something like
Really?
this slide. Now, between the last time they talked about targeting Okamura
That is
and now,
unreal.
you have gone to the palace and see how he treats his workers.
He's talking
When
about
Ryuji
the
wants to talk
phones
about how
now.
shitty of a person he is,
My
Futaba,
goodness.
people who also want to change Okamura's heart, reminds him that the
Ugh.
not do anything about him. The team never discusses that they're going
We're not
to
gonna talk
actually
about the
target him ever
palace. We're
again
just not gonna
after
talk about
this.
anything,
The reason
boys.
why
Just
the conversation
the
is so
fucking
strange
phone.
is because Anne
The
and Yusuke
conversation
were the
is
two
so
biggest
strange.
critics
It's the
of point
phone!
and were the ones who started the fight
What do
with
you
Morgana in the
mean?
first place.
Why
Yusuke says that
are
the
we
data that is
still
found
on
from
this,
Sai linking
please?
Okamura to the mental shutdowns, in quotes,
Please,
doesn't
how is the
necessarily
phone?
mean that he's evil. And
Why
everyone
does it
wants to
matter?
let
Why does
things
it fucking
calm
matter?
down
It's a
bit
phone
first before
conversation.
taking any action.
This is
Then
going
Yusuke
above
comes
and
to the
beyond.
next conversation,
There's
acting
no
like it's
way. There's
obvious
no
we're going
way.
to target Okamura because of
No
his link to the
way. I
shutdown.
still just-
Motherfucker, you're the one who was questioning this in the first place. And Anne says that they clearly can't let him off the
Oh
hook
my
with the
God.
information they have.
Oh
when she was
my-
arguing that they shouldn't do anything and just wait before, when they already had the same amount of information linking him to the mental shutdown.
Talking about the
only difference now
fucking
is that
phone
they have
is-
undeniable proof that he's treating his workers poorly, but they already knew this. And
This
his
is
whole
just like-
conversation in text is referring to
Huh.
mental shutdowns. They're not even talking about the employees. I just wish characters had
Not even
any
talking
form
about
of
the employee.
consistency between scenes. This is ridiculous.
What
and It
consistency?
only gets worse from here on out. Mission is a long and boring process. The supervisor fights aren't difficult, and if you solve the area by talking to the supervisors, you miss out on experience you get from fighting them. All this leads to the best solution being to simply ignore the eavesdropping mechanic and fight all the supervisors instead, so you can level up faster and save time.
No,
Showing up in
'cause
the
you can
earlier
just-
areas, so you need to backtrack to them.
Especially if
Every
you're on
time
hard
you
mode,
move to a
sometimes it may be
different
better better to
you are
not
forced
fight.
To watch an agonizing, slow door open
I don't know if
for
it's
the
because
piston
he's already
slowly
like
start to
talked about
proceed
such
again.
minor
This section
shit,
is
but
once
it's just
again a
now it's
boring
like
slog that
it's
requires
hard to
no
take this
thought, just
seriously.
trial and error. We're also supposed to believe that Okamura is a bad enough boss that he implements a lunch break that is literally 30 seconds long. But there's also
No.
no set. Could
No, he
theoretically
doesn't
just
actually
keep
do that in
doing
real
them
life.
up
It's
over
fucking.
and over again and have a break as long as you want. Gameplay-wise, the game has to
Oh
allow
my
you to
god.
keep doing
It's like you
as
didn't
many
play the
times as you
game.
want, but it clocks like 30 seconds if you keep your eyes and mouth shut. Wow. Someone called NASA because Futaba just figured it all out. All astronauts have to do to not freeze in 3 Kelvin temperatures and not suffer any harmful effects from the vacuum of space and its radiation is just keep their eyes and mouth closed. God damn it, Miss Frizzle. How could you not teach this to them? You see,
No,
until
you
Arnold
can't.
opened his eyes,
You
he
have to
started freezing
keep
here, proving Futaba right.
your eyes and mouth
Futaba's next line
closed
is that
for a
she
few
used to think that you
seconds.
would just accept
And yes,
it
that
and
is
not
real.
freeze
That is
it.
actually how it
Feels
works.
reasonable and implies that she learned her revolutionary eyes closing tech from somewhere, but she never tells you how she got the information. Maybe
She doesn't
just
need to
made it
tell
up.
you. It's a
That probably
gallon
makes more
fucking
sense than
line.
whatever explanation the game would
So.
actually give you for this. Now, the airlock puzzle itself
Ugh.
is incredibly simple. There are a bunch of different
What the fuck? This is, like, that is just- That is an actual, like, factual information, though.
You come across when you pack. But for some reason, when talking to Haru's dad, they decide that the self-destruct is too important, even though I still had 18 minutes after beating the boss fight, and leaves before he rejoins his body. Haru even asked if they should take her dad's shadow, but Morgana assures that he'll be fine.
Because they had no
Second after
reason to
Haru
think
leaves
he would
the
be
frame, her
assassinated
dad's
as
shadow
soon as they
gets shot
left.
From off screen, and the black mask get to the back room of an area to make the odds fair. Akechi is the one who suggests that instead of making it fair, that they should just fix it in their favor so you could win easily. Haru actually pushes back on this and says that cheating is wrong, and Makoto seems to agree with her, only accepting to cheat because they have to work quickly. This is a fake casino in Sai's head with odds rigged against them, and the chips have no real-world value.
It's their
since they're in the
character.
metaverse, but for
It's
some
'cause
reason,
of their
cheating
character.
is still
They don't like
bad
cheating,
here,
that's
according
it.
to them. Hell, they're called the Phantom Thieves, so shouldn't stealing from the house be natural? Akechi is
What?
painted as
No,
someone
they
who's
steal
unscrupulous
hearts,
for this,
ah.
when it should just
They
be
don't
common
steal
sense.
fucking
What if
money.
it's real in the first place? Why does
Just-
it matter if they cheat? This scene actually happens twice. One for the dice games
God,
and
they're
one
the
for slot
Phantom
machines.
Dick
It's
Hunters, what are they
completely unnecessary. After shooting both of those games and getting to the next floor, they're
God, I
really
hate-
barely able to get past. This comes right after the big moment of rigging the giant slot
Oh, I
machine
love it.
before the
It's
dungeon
just-
reaching holes in the game.
I love that.
Here, once again, stops her progress and
God, doesn't
forces
make any
her to go
sense.
back to
They're the
real
Phantom
world.
Thieves.
He
Why don't they
says
just
that it
thieve
must be
the
a
money?
place only room. You could even see Morgana still in your bag because he pops out of it for a bit. So the courtroom doesn't even have basic security bag
What is
checks
he
or
doing? Who
anything.
fucking
Since if there
cares
was,
about the
there was
security?
definitely
It's the
no
goddamn
way a
anime
wild
courtroom. They
animal
saw
was
the
getting
thing. That's
inside.
it.
It feels like, and Akechi says that since you're the leader, it's up to you, but you can only go with Makoto's plan to deliver it herself. And you can only deliver on the day Akechi says to. Don't worry though, Makoto still is definitely not the leader. You're in total control of the Phantom Thieves.
Oh my
The
god,
game shows
dude.
a hidden
Enough with
scene
the
that
Makoto
the
leader
kids
meme. It
fully
needs to
remember.
stop.
Morgana
It's so
is
dumb.
explaining what we have usually seen up until now.
Like a lot of his
How much
questions
of a
about some of
monster
these
she's
palaces and
become
shit,
in
I
her
just feel like they'd be
pursuit of justice.
answered
After
if he
the
just,
fight, the team
I don't
takes the
know,
treasure and prepares to leave. But a lot of
ask
people start
questions
entering
and
the
then
palace
try
looking
to
for
answer
Joker
them
goes
within the
back
game's
as a
the
distraction
fiction
and gets caught in
that the
blind
game is
team
presenting.
interrogation, which brings us to the current day, where
There we
we didn't
go.
actually have to pretend that the suicide news was a real shock.
God,
By the
3
time it
hours and
happened,
45
Joker
minutes.
would have already been
Stop
dead. I think what the game
debunking
is
the
actually trying to
fucking
say
plan.
is that if
I
it
don't
slipped
need to
up
know
and
about the
revealed
plan.
to
It
you
doesn't
that
matter.
he
It fucking
would've
matter.
known
The
he was
plan.
still alive.
Who cares?
He
It was
would've
sloppy.
doubled down on
He is
going
just,
after the monster.
I'm Sherlock Holmes. I'm gonna
But
figure this shit out.
straight up
Like I
wrong.
can imagine
So I
blowing the
guess
fucking
it's just
bubbles
a
in his pipe.
translation error, and as I
He's
said
just
before,
going in.
Yuji does slip up and react anyways, so all of their acting was for nothing.
What
With all
is
these
this,
explanations
dude?
finally done, we can move on to the final target, Shido.
All this acting was for nothing. Like holy
Transition
shit.
from targeting Sai to Shido is probably the best in the game. Since going
Wow, just so fast. He's just already talking about this.
Commanding them is warns everyone to be careful since Shido could possibly have a way of messing with his own palace. This seems like a pretty big deal since shadows and cognition have been a staple for every dungeon up until now, and their fusion should be a significant reveal that makes you question the very fundamentals of the metaverse, but nope, this concept is never brought up again once in the entire dungeon or the game.
Dude.
One more idea introduced
Yes, it
and
is.
immediately thrown away with no thought. It's
No.
after this fight that we're introduced to the revolutionary
The way you can
mouse
manipulate
hall
your
puzzles.
metaverse
These are what most
is
of the palace
different.
comprises of, and it's like interesting gameplay.
The whole
if
thing
they
is that
completely
Shido can
give
do
up
it.
on
He even
by
tries
this
to take the
point in
pill
favor
near
of
the
having
end to
the
try to
win.
cut you
Because
out
if
of
the puzzle
changing his
requires
heart.
a lot of moves, then that must mean it's good, right? These puzzles all
Also,
consist of
why
long
would there
series
be
of
another
puzzles and
thing
moves
in
that are all
Mementos?
identical and
The human
comprehensive. With
consciousness.
some statues of Shido overlooking certain areas, and when the Phantom Thieves walk the enemies freeze and they don't respawn.
He
And
could
when you're in
seriously
uniform, the
make
doors
these points a
will stay
lot
open
more
forever,
generalist.
only closing
There's
once you
no
turn
reason
into
to
a
be
mouse.
this
There are
verbose.
8 members of the Phantom Thieves, so even if the doors have some sort of system
This
where
is
they automatically close
way,
once the
way
mouse
too
aura
much
around the statue
overstating
triggers,
of
you
the
could just
point.
ask a single member to stay out when they enter the palace's main building, even before they interact with anyone or anything. We also know that all of their masks are glued to their face and they had to rip them off in order to summon their personas. They've had their masks on their head before in the Pyramid Escape cutscene, but this was also a 2D animation, which we already know isn't
The
accurate
fuck?
to the gameplay at all.
What?
And their models always have their masks on in the palace. I don't really understand how their masks
Dude,
are
that bleak
supposed to
desert
stay
scene
on
was
if
though they
they're
were
not
driving in the
glued to their
desert
face.
toward
They don't seem to have
the
any
city.
straps or anything to hold them on, but I guess it's just video game physics.
What
like
the
how
fuck? He's
guns and
really
swords
complaining
just
that the
magically
masks
hold
don't
on to
fall?
people's backs.
Are you
If the
kidding me?
animated cutscene really was a mistake, like the
What do you
Yes,
mean
so
it was a
the
mistake?
here, the girls
Why
fall into the
does it
swimsuit
fucking
fabric,
matter
and
whether
even
the
the
mask is
masks
glued
on
on or
doesn't
not?
fit because everyone is right back on them again, presumably because they're now seen as a threat, but that means they weren't being seen by Shido before as a threat? This
Holy
is impossible
shit.
because Shido sensed them as a threat
Holy
immediately as soon
shit.
as they entered the palace. The VIP
Holy
also doesn't seem
shit.
to be connected directly to Shido, and
I had
the
to
alert
stand
percentage
up.
doesn't
This is
rise,
fucking
so Shido doesn't
insane.
even know that's
This is-
battle. Morgana also exposed
Who
at the start of the
cares?
game that their clothes are special
Why
to
is he
protect them
devoting
from
so much
being
fucking time to
affected by
this?
distortion. So even if they could take their clothes off, they
Oh, even if they could take their clothes off, like, what if I took my sock off? What? She don't notice that my sock is gone? What if they're, you know, it wasn't a 2D cutscene, so it's not real. Well, dude, what if I put on a condom in the metaverse? Will it stay on?
Who knows? Probably not. Because
Dude,
everything I've listed up
what if
until
the
now
condom
has
stays
it, so
on in
why
the
should anything else be?
metaverse?
After this fight, we get to traverse some more
That'd be
mouse
wild.
halls,
That'd be
making our way
crazy.
to the slot machines to meet the third VIP.
That would seriously
On the way to the
blow
slot
my
machine,
mind.
there's a brief run-in with he reveals that he owes a great deal to her dad,
Dude,
so he gives her
Crunky,
money
wait a
without
minute.
any
You
trouble.
got a
He
point.
continues to insult
Look at how
Marty's
that
dad
character's
for
wearing a
going
hat.
against Shido's
How
wishes
does the
and giving
hat
away
not
the
fall
letter,
off
and
when
instead
she
of walking
walks?
away with
You
her
see,
objective being complete, Haru
this is
instead gets
completely
angry at this fake
contradictory.
person. At least it's kind of understandable that he was the one who set up the fake Medjet threat, and the plan was always to shut it down before the deadline so the Phantom Thief popularity can grow no matter what. So Futaba was completely unnecessary to the whole story. Futaba at first offers her skills in exchange for the letter, but eventually gets mad at him for the
She
way
was
he
unnecessary the whole
internet
story,
triggers
even
the
though
fight
she
as usual.
fucking
None of
contributed to
these
this
people remember
point
that
to help me
everyone
figure
in this
that out.
palace is fake. They could just
Wow,
agree
I
with
couldn't have done
whatever
any-
the cognition said, take the letter and leave.
my
Fighting them
God.
does nothing except make you waste time and your resources before the boss fight. I'm surprised that Makoto doesn't actually voice this to anyone else with her genius intellect. After the
Oh my
fight, we
God,
learned that
he has
the
been
VIP was
shitting
the
on
one who destroyed
Makoto
the original
for no
research Futaba
reason
mom did on
for
the
the
metaverse. We get a
past
cutaway to
3
Shido being
hours.
very aggressive. So the most concerned out of all of them,
God,
and
it's
that
driving
Ketchum
me
is in danger.
fucking
If
nuts,
she can look
dude.
past that, then I wonder what it would take to actually make her mad. The last two to react
Dude,
are
he
Ryuji,
seriously
who
is
pretty
going
much
through every
ignores
single
Ketchum and
reaction,
casually asks
going to their
him what he
past to
wants
go like
do.
debunk
And
it
then
all. It's
Anne,
like,
who
dude, come
extends
on.
An invitation is also strange. Then she's
Anne's
not a
line is also
decision maker or
strange. It's
planner
one
for the
fucking
Phantom
line. You
Thief.
pushed X and the
Asks
line
if he
came up.
wants to join anyway.
It's like you push the button. It's like 3 fucking lines of text. It's just holy shit. We gotta go back into their past. How does one keep the same after watching a
We don't
5-hour
cotton
video?
to freaks round these parts. Scram, weirdo. Oh yeah? I don't polycotton to coping tropes, even my own. So why don't you split? Looks like I already did. You're the sad figment of my twisted psyche's tragic dividend. You're the un-me. I'm the real me. You wanna be me, kiddo? I was the real me when you were still
What
in
is
my
happening?
short pants.
himself for literally no reason, and everybody is sad. that
Literally
his
no
master
reason.
Decided he didn't want to be in this shitty game anymore.
Didn't
so
want to
he
be this
broke
shitty
himself
game
out.
anymore. Blah! I
He
fucking
would
hate
only
this
slowly
video
dim. I guess
so
that's supposed
much,
to mean
dude.
Canonically, Morgana doesn't have
I
any
guess
healing
that's supposed to
magic,
be
but you
ironically,
can see the
Anna
numeric
Ketchy hates
values of
this
friendship
shitty
you have
fucking
between all the
game.
people you know.
Oh.
To be working for justice, and how exactly would Yusuke resemble Akechi?
It's
Yusuke
just
didn't even
one
know about the metaverse. And even
text
though that
message in the
Maruo was
game.
Apparently funding Shido, he didn't know that either. Maybe he meant that he would have gone.
Come
after his
on, it
position
is
for
one
Maruo, but he still
text
seems to have some
message.
respect for him now, even knowing how bad he really was.
It's just
At
one
least
text
Ryuji
message.
Ryufana reassures her by asking, "Have we ever acted outside of the scope of justice?" That's a great question, Morgana. Let me think about it for a second.
Have we ever acted outside of the scope of justice?
Have we ever acted outside of the scope of justice? Have we ever acted outside of the scope of justice? Have we
Okay. This is like the whole point of the game. This is just a whole moral question that comes up already. And he keeps asking the same moral question over and over again. There's a whole palace after this that is dedicated to them being like, wow, we really fucked up. Or did we? Did they? That's the whole point. That's the whole question you're supposed to be asking. That's the whole point of the game. I don't understand why all of a sudden now it's just like, oh, you know, it's so weird. Oh, I got him. I got you, Morgana. You said the dumb thing. You made a dummy mistake, Morgana.
Justice? Have we ever acted outside of the scope
No, keep
of
going,
justice?
please. One more.
Have we ever acted
Good, good.
outside of the scope of justice? Have we ever
Yeah, no,
acted
please.
outside of the scope of
Please emphasize it more. You don't know this game.
Lifeboat and lifeboat controls
Every
on the
time
other
the
side of the
stupid
ship.
fucking
Ryuji volunteers
palace
for this because one of his only
breaks
notable
apart.
aspects is his love of running in speed. Despite him not joining the track team in his S-Link, and manages to drop the lifeboat for the rest of them. This
Yeah,
is
that's the
supposed
whole
to be
thing.
his
He's not-
redeeming moment after being the
He
fuck
was
up
a
of the
track
group for
star.
the
That's the
entire
whole
game
thing.
because almost every
It's
single
a whole character
situation
arc. Why is he
is
saying the
caused
character
by
arc? It's a
him.
problem. It
He
fucking
was getting
happened.
expelled
It's not an
by
issue.
Kamoshida after he ran angrily
It's just-
into his room. Thieves decide their best course of action is to beat up Ryuji until he's unconscious on the floor. And
It's a
go get
joke.
food, leaving him
It's a
sprawled
fucking
out,
joke,
passed out
dude.
in front of the
It's a
dive
joke.
building, where Shido just had
It's
his
a
change
fucking
of heart
joke.
and his guards know
I
their
don't
identity
understand.
for something that wasn't even Ryuji's fault in the first place. Seriously, this scene exists.
How can
only
they
to
all
build
be so
tension
fine
and
after they
payoff
hit
for a big
Ryuji?
comedy
Like
show.
Ryuji just
No
survived an
matter how you
explosion.
look at it,
Look at
it
them
comes
walk
off
away.
as
They're ditching their
bullshit.
friend.
For once
Why
in
can't
the
they ditch
game,
their
Ryuji
friend? What the
does
heck?
nothing
This is
wrong. He
another
gets
instance of the game
rewarded with
contradicting
being
itself.
beaten up until
Wow.
he's
Look at
unconscious.
Yusuke.
It's
He
obvious
says
that
he's
the writers
hungry,
were
but didn't
involved with
Yusuke
characters
eat?
who were
Like, do they
bumbling
even
idiots
eat on the
getting their
palace?
redemption by
Honestly,
sacrificing
Persona
their
5,
life.
you
Since
made
this
another
scene comes
mistake.
shortly after Akechi
So
does the
dumb.
same
So
thing, but
fucking
the
tiring
scenario
seeing
with
this.
Ryuji is weak and unfitting. They didn't even have the courage
How
to
did
commit
Ryuji
to harming
even
Ryuji
eat
at
food
all
if he's
after
on the
going out of their
palace?
way to
Shouldn't they
portray
all
him as not having
starve?
any chance of
Gosh,
survival.
how
Yet
could you
again,
spend like 10
another
hours there
fucking
when you're
cop-out.
playing the game
They
on your
cut to Shido's
PS4,
room where
but
they learn that
IRL
the
the
change
days
of
don't
heart was
change?
successful. If you're going to start ramping up the difficulty, why do you suddenly, as soon as it requires 2 brain cells, to immediately go, whoa, we don't want you to do too much thinking there, and then just make it straight lines? It's kind of insulting. Is that how low you think of your player base? Do you think they're
So
drooling morons that can't solve these puzzles? Or are you just incompetent / lazy?
Puzzles
who don't
are
wanna
all
make
fucking
puzzles of any
easy.
sort
It
of
doesn't
difficulty?
matter,
The
dude.
aesthetic of this palace is super cool.
Fuck.
Everything looks clean and polished, but also is put
The
together
big
in such a
challenge
random way,
of the
putting
palace
idea
is
that this place is made
is that you need to get to a save point. That's the whole problem, is moving between areas while trying to get to the save point while managing the enemies. That's the challenge. That is the fucking challenge of the palaces. God damn it. Yes, they're shit. Doesn't matter. Because he's still wrong. I don't understand. The puzzles are just extra. Okay, the big thing is trying to... different ways of trying to have you deal with the enemies and their spawn patrols. Fuck, dude.
made up of the combination of thoughts of everybody. The
30
only thing
minutes
that
left.
doesn't fit with the rest of the
So
palace
close.
is the safe rooms here. Or comments on when they change people's hearts, they are removing their ability to choose and choosing for them. The Phantom Thieves have been the ones controlling others the entire time, not just the bad guys
Yes,
they've been
that's
fighting.
the whole
Even
point
if
of the
people
palace.
whose hearts they change are doing bad things. When they take matters into their own hands, they are forcing them.
It's
to
the whole point of
confess
the
and become
palace
different
and
people,
why the
making choice to
metaverse
turn
dying at
themselves
the
in for
end
them.
is
So when
supposed to be
Makoto makes
impactful.
statements about how it's such a bad thing.
Their
to have
actions
others
kill the
choose for
metaverse.
you,
That's the whole
she doesn't
problem.
have any
The
self-awareness
Phantom
that
Thieves
they
cannot
would be doing the
exist
exact
beyond that
same
point.
thing. This seems like the perfect place for her to be wondering if what they're doing.
They're
is
no longer
really
Phantom
right.
Thieves when the
Instead of
metaverse
before
is
they
gone.
enter
That's
Shido's
it.
Palace, and Morgana gives one of the worst justifications in the whole game. Yusuke starts to wonder about the powers.
The justification is from their perspective because they're flawed. It's fucking. Oh my
Of course,
god.
they can't do anything bad. They're the protagonists.
It's
the
just
good
so-
guys. You can't have a story where things are morally gray and make the
But they
player think
are.
about
They
what
just
they're
don't
doing,
outright
because
fucking
that would
state it
actually
to you,
become
you
a deep
dipshit.
narrative and ask the player to come to
Oh
their
my
own
god, he
conclusions
still has to
whether
hammer it
they
in because
justify
goddamn,
it or
everything's
not.
so
This
fucking
isn't
dumb
even
in this
dramatic
game.
irony or setting
Everyone's
up
a
something
fucking
for a later
moron in
event.
this one.
I think
This
that the writers
shitty
really
game.
believe that the
Whoa.
Phantom take you on your journey on their own before they even reform into Lavenza. Nothing about the twins is any different from Lavenza, and her appearance at the end of the game is super rushed. She's barely a character. She gets created and then spouts some exposition at you about how the Velvet Room works, and then you leave. You don't get to spend any time with her, and even though the twins don't have much of a character
Why
either,
do you
at
need
least
to
you have
spend
some
time
to
with
go
her? She's
past
just there to
them.
fucking
Lavenza
view
becomes a
shit.
character in the game
It doesn't
ends in less
matter.
than 2 hours, and she's in maybe 20 minutes of it at most after that, being very generous. In the end, it feels like nothing was gained out of making the two twins turn into Lavenza. The game probably would have been better
What
off
is the
without this
point?
random
Who
reveal for
cares?
shock value.
Who
Reveal
cares
Igor's
if
in a
Lavenza's
similar
there?
position. instance, he
Who
only has a
cares,
few
really?
lines after the fake Igor leaves. He's
Besides,
set up as the
if
person
she's
who
not
is
even a new
really supposed
character,
to
you've
guide
spent the
you
whole
on your
time with her
journey,
as
and
Justine and the other
implication was
bitch.
gain reality-altering superpowers and the ability to change and save the entire world.
That face is really funny.
Meanwhile, his parents and friends back home didn't
Okay, hold on.
save the entire
I need to
created
screenshot
20
that.
blood O started dating several girls, gained reality.
I love this face. Oh, I gotta save this. In you go.
Superpowers and the ability to
That's a
change and
good
save the entire
face.
world. Summoned a 200-story demon, shot a god in the head. Meanwhile, his parents and friends back home didn't call or text him a single time. When he stayed in a town rampant with murders, closely involved with the Phantom Thief scandal. That's what there or not. That is how it's actually used in practice in real life.
And what's sad is that I don't even think that Persona like tackles some of this shit that well in a lot of ways.
Since Kana's parents get to keep
It has like a lot of problems with how it does some of this shit. It's just the fact that Cvit is such a dickhead. Just fucking makes it really hard to like talk about all that stuff because he's just busy, just fucking shoving his foot in his mouth. You bring up garbage, bullshit, minor details. Like, yeah, they don't really go about it that well. As you could see in this one text message, like, dude, shut up. Do you have like an actual point instead of just this dumb shit?
Game subverting its own narrative because video games. When the game itself.
But that's the thing too, right? Is that some of the examples he brought up were just him clearly like being a dick or like just missing shit or misinterpreting things because he has to push this narrative that the game is like so bad on this fundamental like minor microscopic level. It's just ridiculous.
When they're not, even though I'm skeptical about whether the problem of physical power being the only important stat.
Shut up with the physical power, dude. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
It won't really matter.
It's not gonna change shit.
Remixed too. So I brought up
seriously, he could have just said something
interesting.
interesting.
Even if the
At
new content
least.
is good, unless they
I don't
overhaul
know,
the
man.
entire game,
I feel like
there's
just
no way that all the stupid story beats, inconsistent
fucking
characters, terrible S-links, and constant contradictions.
could have gone
in
about
every
this so
aspect
much
of the game
better
can
than what
be
he
fixed.
did, and he
The
just
issue with Persona 5's writing
dropped the
runs
ball.
deep, and I can't see a way for it to be improved short of starting from
Cvit,
scratch,
man.
which Royal clearly were online. There's got to be more people out there who think about this game the way I do. People who realize that Persona 5 is all style, no substance.
Ugh. Ugh. Okay. I did it. I made it through. I survived. Oh my god. Oh. Oh. God, that sucked. God, that sucked so bad. It sucked so bad. Overall, big poopy. Time to reinstate the dislike. Boom, another one. Checkmate. Alright, I'm done. I did it. The end.